Yes. Okay, how are you all?
Um, fine. Dr. Walker, I have an APA question after you get everything started.
Okay, go ahead and ask.
Okay, so I want you to know that I looked this up or tried to look it up before asking you the question. I don't want you to think that I was being like lazy about this.
Okay.
I double spaced my paper. And so in doing so, two of the headings fell at the bottom of the paper.
Mm-hmm.
And I was worried that because APA says that you have to double space everything, that if I added a space in order to put it at the top of the paper, that that I would be marked off for having
No,
too
you
much
need to
space.
force it on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's so funny. I don't know what y'all are seeing, but lots of faces are going like that, Melissa.
So and force it on means that if there's going to be like an extra space in between in order to get it up to the top of the paper, I need to do that, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Here's the trick, though. If you go back then and edit,
yeah,
and other words scooch things around,
yes,
you may need to pull it back up, or
okay,
do the final check to make sure that everything is double spaced, or there's that little thing that pushes it forward. Okay.
I didn't want you to think that that didn't occur to me while I was doing the paper.
Yes.
I was just worried that when you printed it out and saw that because I looked for the answer in Purdue OWL and I couldn't find it.
Yeah.
So I just wanted you to know that I didn't.
No. And as long as you looked, that's terrific. Okay. It's a Keurig, so I'll be gone like 30 seconds back to get the coffee. Civility in a cup. Okay, so you may have noticed we have a guest tonight up there. That's Professor Weber. And in a minute, you'll understand why she's joined us. So the first and most important thing, though, is to see where you guys are and what I can help with or whatever. Professor Weber, what we do in this face-to-face piece is we talk about things that are worrying them. And then if there's time left and they want to, we talk about the next assignment, give them hints. And that's why we record it, is so there are actually 6 sections. And so I've been putting it into all the sections to kind of help the other folks out. But this is not a lecture. This is not I'm here to teach them stuff in the face-to-face piece. It's really just whatever would help them. So normally I don't do much except answer questions. And you got to watch Christina all the time down there in the corner. Okay, now see, you people have to live up to that.
Dr. Walker, so I wanted to go in and start trying to use the PDF or the Acrobat form. And I wanted to thank you for putting that link on to show us how to open the text, because I've had big problems with that in the past. So thank you.
Well, those of you who in any way talk to Ha, that manages the MSW admissions and stuff, she's the one who did that. So we all have to be grateful to Ha.
Yes. Very grateful.
And remember too, on that intake form, you can print it up and do it by hand and scan it back to me if that's easier.
And that was my plan. I think I'm just going to fill it out and kind of have more control, and I think I can probably do it quicker that way. So
I'm sure it'll be quicker.
yeah, thank you for letting us do it that way.
Yeah. And in real life, depending on what agency you work in, handwriting is not unknown, shall we say, to the smaller agencies. So.
I have a question.
Yes.
So on the intake form, most of that information, some of it we can get from our the character that we're deciding to write on out of the Sanchez family, but a lot of it is going to be made up, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I was making sure.
Okay, so let me give you a hint. I would suggest like you not make them really, really rich, you know, because they wouldn't probably be at this agency if that were the case. But just try to let it have internal consistency. But yeah, make it up.
Yeah, because they're going to need more resources if they're not rich.
That's right. So say we all, right? Okay, now y'all are just doing this to make me look bad in front of Professor Weber, right?
No, I have a question.
Yeah.
So with the assignment, I was going through looking at the template, and I also noticed the different places for the parents to sign.
Don't worry about that.
Okay. Because I and also there's details below it. Is that for us to write in the assignment?
I have forgotten. What are we talking about?
Let me go into and I don't have my computer. I'll have to go on my phone. So on the assignment towards the bottom of the discussion, let me look, the module, because I noticed something.
I probably have it open. Hold on a minute.
Because it says, what did the client, okay, it says, what did the client didn't tell you something, ask, or in this case, make it up. Mm-hmm. So, because I'm actually going to complete this on a client that I'm working with in my practicum setting.
Good.
And I want to make sure that I am getting the information you'll need to know as I move forward with completing.
Exactly. That you got it. You got it.
Okay.
Because that's a perfect example. Because think about in the real world, a lot of times you're not going to know everything you need to know.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're going to have to work from what you do know and from what you can kind of tease out of the client.
Right. And sometimes it takes more than just one session. I mean, especially if we, like some clients, you see them over 12 sessions, and every single one of the sessions, something new is coming up. You're getting.
I used to have a case, and I wish I still did. It's a young boy, and he's having trouble at school. And so they call the parents in. There's like a older sibling, and they talk to him, but They can't quite figure out what it is. But whatever it is, it has happened every, I don't know, October or whatever it is. The boy begins to develop the same kind of behavioral problems. And so because they do an echo map and a genogram and all that good stuff, the worker begins to wonder if there's a family dynamic around that time of year. And she meets with the parents, she meets with the kids, and blah, blah, blah. And what she finally figures out, she's talking to the mother, and she's like, what, is there anything you can think of? So the mother and father are sitting there, and the children are not in the room, and the mother goes, well, that's when we lost the twins. You know, and so every year she's reliving that very traumatic experience, and the father is too, and the kids don't know what it is, but it's almost palpable, you know, in the room that first week in October or whatever, because the parents are so distraught over it, but they've never wanted to tell the kids. So the worker kind of leads them through, we got to get this out. And that's, I think what you're talking about is that very kind of a thing. And it took them a long time over the, you know, over the period of therapy.
So nowhere do we need to sign the client's name.
No, you know, you can be smart aleck and put an X or whatever, but you don't have to do that.
Dr. Walker, I have a question.
Sure, Carlos.
Okay, so 2 questions basically. For the intake form, once we fill it up and we write comments on it and all that, I was looking at the rubric, and it has sort of like provide a thoughtful critique and then identify 5 specific areas. Do you want that like in a research mode paper to include it like in our final assignment?
Well, go
where,
and look at the rubric for the signature assignment, because it talks about using the intake form.
Okay. So with the information from the intake form, we can include it on our paper.
Right, and you're going to allow it to inform part of the signature assignment.
Okay.
You do not have to attach the intake form to the signature assignment, but you can reference it in the body of the signature assignment.
Okay.
So then we would use the APA format for referencing that paper?
Yes. Because the intake form can be your source.
Okay.
Amy, are we keeping you awake?
I haven't had a chance to watch the video that you posted.
Oh, it's so short, and I am really sorry. But we had such a technical difficulty, and I was the one who kept getting thrown out last week. And I would come back in, and y'all would still be talking, and I'm bouncing around. And so finally, I'm just like, class is over. But there were a few things I wanted to tell you, so that was what was in the video.
Does it address our next week's assignment? Because I know we all had questions on that.
It's not. That's one reason I was glad that, you know, we were going to be able to meet tonight, was to talk about that. So if you want to jump in at that, that's fine.
That'd be great if we could talk about that.
All right. So let me, because I, of course, just got to the intake form. Okay, so what we're looking at, yes, backwards. So do you want to talk about the reflection paper, the first one, or the draft of the introduction and evidence search?
Well, I have a question on the reflection paper.
Okay, so we'll open it first.
Okay.
Okay.
I wanted to know if it was acceptable to use, using the APA format, and for each section to use the title of the section based on
Sure.
The rubric headings, basically.
That can be your heading. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
In fact, the person grading it will love you.
Okay.
Amy, do you have any other questions about 3?
I'm looking at it right now. So is this in terms of, I'm trying to read through the rubric right now. Is this in terms of our client, or is this in terms
No, this is in terms of, good question. And actually, if I understand it right, really well phrased to help me get it. So it is in terms of the client in the context of what you understand. So that's why, if you'll look below that, I don't know if you've got it open, but when you have it open, look below the cartoon and it says, format your paper in a way that looks like this. EP 2.1, and then so you want to type it out, all those words, and then you want to say, in working with Susie Jones, I might, and then what you want to be looking at is I might recognize the importance of culture, race, gender, sexual diversity, and other forms of diversity when making decisions, and tell how. So in terms of your client, how are you going to acknowledge the importance of diversity in making your treatment plan, your whatever you're going to do with your client, and getting to the agreement on the interventions you're going to use? How do you do that? And then go on to the next one.
So we can use, like you said, in working with the client, we can use these words, insert the entire practice behavior.
Yes, and then elaborate.
Okay.
And this is not something you can look up. Once you've got the practice behavior typed, it has to come out of your head. What are you going to do? How are you going to do it?
So do you anticipate us having any references on this one, or?
Well, I would suggest that you reference the EPOS.
But other than,
you'll have APA looking stuff.
But not necessarily references on.
Not necessarily. Now, if you have, let's say you're working with a client who thinks he's a crocodile, and you have had to go into Campbell and Cochran, and you found one little tiny example of how to work with a client who's delusional and thinks he's a crocodile, you could put that, but you don't have to. I would like to see you cite something, even if it's just the EPOS, just so I'll know that your formatting holds water.
So maybe this isn't super, super long. Is that?
You're right.
Okay. Don't make it too complicated.
Don't overthink it, for sure.
Okay.
Here's the thing. So in the current standards, we're supposed to demonstrate that you are competent at these things. So what I want you to do is talk about where you are right now in terms of competency with these things. Then right at the very end, there's another assignment that says, show me how you are competent at these things now, meaning more so than back in October. The Cardinals just started playing. That was that noise. They won't play well, though, so I really don't care.
I'm assuming if we have questions specific to this, I can just text you because I feel like I'm trying to already start to complicate it in my mind. So I'm just going to have to work on it and then ask you if I have questions.
Yep. So let me give you an example. Demonstrate the ability to critically appraise studies and reviews. We just got to doing that, right? So just tell me how you would do that in terms of your client. And when Amy asks, it's not going to be long, it shouldn't be long at all.
So, oh, sorry.
No.
Okay, so we can, given that example with the reviews and evaluations, we can then say, I mean, we go step by step through the process. Working with this client, we utilize this database in order to collect this information. I mean, it's really what you're looking for is a step by step of how exactly we are going to get to that specific.
Yes, demonstrating your current level of competency at those things.
Okay.
The things that flow from 2.1.6, the research informed practice and practice informed research, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
and remember, this is our first cut at this. Don't be perfect. How will you be better in 6 weeks?
So this might be an area where we would cite something or refer to something.
You could easily cite something here. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm looking at the syllabus again. And just to confirm from last week, from our brief time we were together, did you move assignment 5 to October 15th, or did you move assignment 3 to October 15th?
Maybe neither.
I just remember. So
yeah, because I don't remember, but I will write it down now and go fix it.
I thought it was assignment 5.
Huh?
I thought it was 5.
Okay, so
I emailed you actually.
Hang on. What I need to do be so much easier with an ink pen. Hold on a minute.
I made a sticky note right here at my file cabinet.
Okay, what did it say?
Assignment 5, change to October 15th.
All right, I can do that.
Well, what I do?
I had it on my hand, but I could only find a pink ink pen, so it won't show.
Can I ask any of my classmates, has anybody completed the intake form?
Not yet, Christina.
So assignment 5 moved to October 15th?
Yes, ma'am.
Got it. You heard that, Karen Weber?
I'm glad we let you know.
Yes, me too.
Can I ask you a quick question about at the end of the intake? I'm sorry to go backwards, but at the end there's a chart that's asking us, because as we go through the intake, we're scoring different sections of our client's life.
Uh-huh.
And I feel like I'm missing a section, maybe even 2. There's a section that asks that there's not a score for medical adherence, and insurance. So I wasn't sure if I missed something, or there's nothing on the intake where we're filling out whether she has health insurance or that gives us a box anyway to come up with a score like all the other areas did. So should I just make it up?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Absolutely.
All right, thank you.
Sure.
This is so funny. In social work, I think it's only the area where we would be told, make things up. So it's kind of just funny to me, you know, like
It is
I'm reading
funny.
this paper and I'm like, okay, let's see. So, I mean, it's a lot of fun in that aspect.
Good.
Sometimes it's difficult of kind of wondering, okay, well, what actually would happen if this, you know, in this case or in this case. But it definitely makes me laugh a lot.
Good. I'm glad. I'm really glad. Let's
But
talk about assignment 5 for a second, even though now you're going to have a little longer, okay? So, hold on a minute. So, what you're going to do is you're going to look at the rubric. Well, while I'm in here, I'll fix it. How's that? Give me 2 seconds to fix it. All right. So you want to identify the things that are listed in the rubric, like your search terms. You want to tell me what you were looking up, the sites you went to, how many entries came back, and how many were relevant. So if you put in bipolar Hispanic adolescent, I don't know, my guess is you're going to get 100,000 hits. So that's going to tell you what?
Too broad.
Too broad. And if it's too broad, what are you going to do?
get more specific.
Be much more specific. So you're going to add some descriptors, right? You're going to add some search terms until, and here's what's likely to happen, you keep doing that and you come back with 2. And then you go, oh, wait a minute, that's not enough. So then you know, like parallel parking sort of until you get there. So that's what you're going to do there.
Is there any optimal amount coming back? Because typically when I do a search for something to cite, you know, on a paper or a discussion post, I get 30,000 results sometimes. So is there an optimal amount that we're kind of shooting for?
Okay, that's really an excellent question. And here's how I would think about it. What number are you willing to look at? So I'm going to go out on a limb here and say 15, you know, something that you're willing to click through to 15 things and see how useful each one is. 30,000, 24,847 could be amazing, but you'll never know. Right? So does that make sense? Can you work within that?
And then just to confirm, so this first portion, the search terms, the kind of identifying the sites number, that's pretty brief as well, right?
It is. It'll be very
complicated.
brief.
It is
very brief.
The rubric, and that's really all we need to put in there.
Yes.
Okay.
Then the second row is question formulation. And we all know all there is to know about question formulation, right? We know how to do this.
And we're allowed to use the questions that we came up with on that paper?
Absolutely.
And then when you say, did you base your search, the evidence search, on the questions you formulated, did you explain to me what you found? So that's where we find it's not, wait, the evidence would be the research pertaining to the specific questions that were
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think we'll have the question formulations back by this point to kind of know if we were on the right track?
We will have everything back by Saturday night.
Okay, great.
So, Dr. Walker, we're beginning to take what we've done and get the meat of what we want, and we're really starting to form our paper, our signature.
Exactly.
So the 3 questions for this assignment actually want to be really the basis of our paper, right?
Mm-hmm.
These are the interventions. This is what we're going to do. Okay.
They are what led you to the intervention.
Okay.
This is the coolest thing, because I'm sitting here and all these faces are going. Except Professor Weber, who's still confused, but that's okay.
So, of course, on a lighter note, just like earlier, we just got, 4 grades?
Yes, you did.
On our sheet. So I call my dad. Everybody's going to know. I got hundreds on everything. So, just freaking out because, it's kind of one of those things of you're unsure of yourself. And I think in one of my other classes, we talked about this as being unsure. And then, getting that response back of you got 100% on your paper it's just so good. There's been times where I'll read my own discussion and I don't recognize it until I hit a certain point. I'm like, oh, wow, I did really well on that. But I mean,
good. Now, I can't promise that your question formulation grades are going to be quite as perfect because that is so specific and so hard. But on the other hand, and I think this is why Amy was hoping you'd get them back, it really drives where we're going. But you will. You'll have them back by Saturday night, sorry. Okay, so that is probably as good a place as any to explain to you what's going on behind the scenes. So this is my last week with you guys. I'm actually retiring. Don't anybody panic. There is nothing wrong with me. This is not a health issue. Sometime in your professional career, you'll encounter the same thing. You'll encounter a feeling that it's the right time to make a move. And that's where I find myself. Do I wish that it was at the end of the semester? Absolutely. Is it? No. It is not. It is September 30th, except that we're looking at the 31st, so I'll get everything graded, I promise. But I will not be with you after tonight. Professor Weber will be. So I wanted to show you guys off for one thing and give her a sense of how it has worked. But you all know that doesn't mean that's how it has to work. So if she comes in and she lectures for an hour every Tuesday night, that's something you guys will love because she's a good teacher.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
But I wanted to meet with you tonight and tell you that. This is the termination that you're learning about in your other practice courses. And I wanted to do it right. You'll have situations where you leave an agency and you don't have a chance to talk to everybody, but I'm getting that chance. So I wanted to take it. I'll answer your questions. I'm sure Professor Weber's gonna do the same thing I just told Amy I would do and felt really guilty about it and kept looking at Karen.
Well, and Beth and I, if I really, I'm coming in the middle, and we know that sometimes that's a little hard. But Dr. Walker and I do communicate
We do.
a lot. And if I need to clarify something, please know
I will be right here.
We talk. I was gonna tell you, Beth, today that in your phone where it says contacts, you're my number one frequently contacted person, because she's also my mentor. So we've been together a long time, Dr. Walker.
We have. Funny story about her. When I first came to Western, she was the only person who was teaching for us who's still there. And I even drove over to her town and watched her teach intro on a night when I knew they were having pizza.
Yeah. Pizza's always good.
Pizza's always good. And they always have pizza at Truth or Consequences.
Yeah.
So we go back a long way, and I am always there for her. No doubt about it. So.
And some of you have had me before. And so some of you know that I will post my cell phone, and I will give you my email. And I do prefer phone calls. Call me. I'm good at answering and trying to figure out what I need to do to help. Okay, so you will not be totally abandoned or anything like that.
You are not being abandoned. This is a relay race.
Yeah.
And see, like right here, I'm handing, look at the picture. I'm handing you off. There we go.
Got it.
And now this is going to be cool because this is recorded.
Yeah. So, but yes, we will still be available. You're going to still get your whatever you need. You just keep in touch if you have concerns, or if you think I'm off a little bit, you just let me know, and I'll call and get my mentor to tell me which way I need to go.
No problem.
Okay.
Amy?
Dr. Weber, do you, you said you prefer phone calls. A lot of the times I do my homework later, send a text message. Are you okay with text messages, or do you prefer only telephone calls or emails?
If it's late at night, a text message is fine.
But if it's business hours, give you a call.
No, I'm up till, usually up till about 10. I have children that still call me at 10:05. So, and I will answer. And I actually had somebody on the East Coast call me one morning at 5:30 and said, "Oh, dang, I forgot the time change." So, but phone calls are easier for me.
Okay.
I am teaching 5 other classes, so I will actually have to ask you, which class are you in? Where are you at? That.
What time zone are you in?
Mountain Standard Time. I'm in New Mexico. And so if you
She lives in, well, no, she doesn't live in, but she's down the road from Truth or Consequences.
Yeah.
Y'all know the story about that town? It used to be Hot Springs, right?
Right.
And there was a TV show. Nobody's old enough to remember it, but it was Truth or Consequences.
Mm-hmm.
And they offered money to a town if it would change its name to Truth or Consequences. And Hot Springs, New Mexico went, sure. Money, give it to us. So they're Truth or Consequences.
And we know when somebody's new to TRC or somebody's coming through, because we abbreviate it TRC. So when you write it, you write TORC. And so people will say, "Oh, are you from Torque?"
Yeah.
Yep.
And so her campus was Torque.
Yeah. And I have been accused of being a smart aleck over it. So that people are like, "Oh, come on." No, really, it's Truth or Consequences.
You will, I think, find the sense of humor familiar.
Yeah. I've got a good one.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
So I'm sad because Dr. Walker, you've convinced me to go walk the line, and now you're not going to be there.
Yes, and I hate that. That is the worst part.
So I say this completely joking, but I'm going to go find you and make you go to the graduation. You've been very helpful to me from day one. I registered late getting into the master's program, and you've just been phenomenal. So thank you for everything that you've done.
Amen. And it's
Thank you. I appreciate hearing that from you guys. I really do.
But the same for me. I wouldn't even be a graduate student without Dr. Walker.
it's crap that you're leaving. Excuse my mouth. I would say a few other things, but
I think we're all feeling that. Because she's when she started, I was teaching undergrad in Tier C social work classes to 4 students.
Yeah.
I don't even think we had an MSW program, did we?
Oh no,
I think so. I think that's why I was teaching that. And I watched it go from a little itty bitty thing to this accredited grad program. This, like I said, she's my mentor too. So I agree with you, Juanito. It's kind of cruddy, but if I had the chance to retire, and we all have to think about that, if somebody said, hey, you can retire this week.
yes.
Like, oh.
And my daughter in Clearwater is looking forward to the first visit. So
Did she get her lights back?
she did. She did. And the
good.
only damage they really wound up with was a fence gone. And
Good.
that's the kind of thing my husband just was born to do. So we're going down in October and fix the fence
Oh, good.
and shop at the Skechers outlet.
Oh, the outlets are the best.
They are.
Yes.
The outlets are. Well, I'm really going to miss you guys.
I'll certainly miss you, Dr. Walker.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, Melissa, you and I went back a long way too, Garachi.
Yeah. No, I mean, you're instrumental in my still being here, so thank you very much.
I remember.
If you come back to Tucson, you better text me and so we can meet for lunch or something. And Melissa too. That'd be great.
That would be fun. And I'm adding that to the fix the due date for assignment 5. Got it. All right. What else do y'all need?
Oh, can I ask Dr. Weber to tell us about yourself?
Well, sure. And you can call me Karen. And 'cause
Okay.
I have a half a doctorate.
Guys, this is the perfect time. Love you.
I bet. Love you too. Bye. Okay, so I have a half a doctorate because I got tired, especially at statistics. I was like, I like research, but I don't like statistics. So I've been with Western as either an adjunct since 2004. I was the director of the Tier C branch of Western New Mexico University, an undergrad advisor and a graduate advisor. Been around for a long, long time. I have always been in a small town. I've worked in home health, hospice, the hospital. I'm a gerontological social worker. Social gerontology is my specialty. And I'm a medical social worker by training. So I have worked I've created a community mental health center. I've worked as a therapist. I've worked in the public schools. That was fun to get that job because they said, you're a social gerontologist. How are you going to work with kids in the middle school? And I said, well, for my folks to get old, I have to know what they did when they were young, and I got in. So like I said, I worked home health, hospice. I used to be an EMT. I've just always liked people. I come from a family of engineers and social workers. So, you know, they say, oh, it's a hard science and you're just a soft scientist, and vice versa. So I have a son that's an engineer and a father that's an engineer. I'm a foster parent. I've been a foster parent for 8 years now. I did it to adopt my cousin's children. So I adopted 2 after raising 5. And so I've got 7 children. Currently right now I have 13 grandkids, and I have 5 foster daughters right now in the house from ages from 4 to 12. My husband's a contractor, and he has the dog that you'll hear barking a lot because her name is Tinkerbell, but we call her Tinker, and because she's a stinker. And anybody that's talked to me on the phone, right, Christina, you hear the dog barking in the background. Ash, I think I've talked to you on the phone a couple times, huh? I love to quilt. I like to read trashy novels, not really bad novels, just murder mysteries. I don't know why social workers do that, but murder mysteries. Would you tell the dog to quit barking? And I don't know. I live in Caballo Lake, New Mexico. It's population 500, maybe. So I don't know. Anything else, maybe?
You got the best ringback tone ever.
Oh, thank you. Yes, you can tell my age from the ringback tone. Now, what they did tell me is that for the T's, you know, I used to be an advisor for the T's also. They have bells on our doors for kids. Anyway, the T's, but I'm not going to get to T's back. So I thought today they would tell me that I would. I was like, well, I'll just take back, you know, when we redivide the advisees. I thought, well, I'll just take the T's again. But I'm not going to get you back. But if you want me to, it's what Maura is going to be, and I don't know Maura's last name. She works in academic affairs as an administrative assistant, and I believe she's going to be the advisor. But if you guys need it, call me, okay? Just call me, and I'll advise you. I like to tell people where to go and what to do. That's a joke. So if you'll write down my cell number real quick, because I don't know when I'll get access to to Beth's shell in her canvas. So my cell number is 575-740-0009. I know it's not 0007. I can't be 007. But you guys can call me if you have any questions or concerns. If I screw up, call me.
Could you repeat that, please?
Sure. 575-740-0009.
So I have a quick question, and I don't even know if this concerns you or not, but since Dr. Walker is no longer going to be our teacher, are you also going to take over as head of social work department, or is there an interim?
The interim is Patty West O'Keery, and she's been interim, I think, since July, because she had Dr. Walker had originally just kind of stepped down, and then
Okay.
got this opportunity and found out she had enough to go, and she's going. So anyway, please let me know if I mess up. I'm famous for it. I'm not going to claim to be perfect, and so just let me know if I do make a mistake, or I do not pay attention to you, or whatever. Okay? All right? Yes, ma'am.
Will you be changing any of our assignments, or is everything kind of staying the same?
Everything will stay the same.
Okay.
Everything will stay the same. Since we're accredited, these have already been like tried and true classes. Everybody will get the same assignments. All 6 sections get the same assignments, and that's for consistency, so that we know that we're teaching you what you need to know. Okay. Yeah. No, I'm not going to change anything. We may change due dates, but then, you know, we do that when we need to, or when it's. Oh, I didn't know if somebody was talking to me or not.
Oh, and I have a question. For these classes moving forward, like for the next class, how are you thinking about or deciding on structuring, if you thought that far ahead, seeing how it has been, I guess, for this particular class thus far?
I don't plan on changing anything. If you all want me to look up something or find something, I will be more than happy to do that for you. The one thing I do hope is that you guys are really good at APA formatting, but I'm available to help you if you need. Okay. For the APA, because one day you guys might publish, and that would be awesome. Definitely awesome.
Okay, and I just want to make sure that I'm on the same page as everybody else. We're printing out the intake form, we're handwriting in, and then we're scanning it up for a document so we can submit it. And then we're going to submit an additional APA formatted document to address the rubric about critiquing the intake form and everything else. Is that right? So we should really have 2 separate documents uploaded under the assignment, right? Okay.
But
yes, that's what we all understand.
well, I thought that if we wanted to fill it in using typing, that we could.
Oh yeah, I just thought she said it didn't work, and so to print it out, so I didn't even try typing it.
Yeah, I think it does, but either way, she said is just fine.
Okay. All right.
As long as I can read it, or she can read it, or somebody can read it. That's all we care. Okay. Anything else?
Nope. I'm out.
All righty. Well, you have my cell number, and we'll continue to work together. And like I said, if you know, all you T folks, let me know if you still need me to advise you. I don't mind it. I still have, I know you well enough already that we can do that. And anybody else who have issues, let me know.
Thank you. It was nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice meeting you. Thanks so much.
Oh, you're welcome. All righty.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye now.
See you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Dr. Walker. It was wonderful working with you, Dr. Walker. I appreciate you.
Miss Karen, are we still going to meet for Tuesday evening?
Yes. Yes, ma'am. Sure are.